I'm Jann Adams, and I'm delighted to be here today to share a little bit about my journey, about how I got to where I am today, and what my life is like and what kind of work I do. I am a faculty member, a teacher, and an administrator at Morehouse College, and I'm also the director of the Brondon Family Foundation. I'm delighted to partner with LRNG to share my story with you. I grew up primarily in Waco, Texas, a small city that needs a lot of what you think about when you think about Texas. I had a really pretty simple but good childhood with a real focus on academic excellence and service. There was sort of an expectation from the time you were a kid that you were sort of doing things in the world that helped make things better. And you started by being really good in school. I was one of probably 3 high schoolers that left Texas for college. I picked the school, Oberlin College, because they sent me a postcard and it had snow in it, and I'd never seen snow. My first semester at Oberlin, I took a class in psychology and I loved it. And then I wanted to work in a community with underserved people. So I applied to graduate school and went to Indiana University for my clinical training. By the time I'd gotten through the clinical program, I completely changed my mind about what I wanted to do. I wanted to work specifically at a historically Black college. By this time I was married. My oldest son was already born, and we moved to Atlanta. I started working at Morehouse and have been there now for 30 years. My newest opportunity is to serve as the director of the Brondon Family Foundation. It's a foundation that was started by my son, Malcolm Brondon. Malcolm's been thinking about establishing the Brondon Family Foundation for a number of years. Malcolm developed an interest in water and studied how many people don't have access to clean water. When you have a community where there's no clean water, girls and women spend all day going to get water. You can't go to school, you can't work, you can't get educated. But when we went to visit Tanzania, we realized that it's not enough. The idea with the Brondon Family Foundation is to actually start with wells and then build from there to establish strengthen communities from the basis of the school to impact the whole community. The other piece of it is an educational component in the United States to help create empowered schools in the US. And so those are schools where children are underserved to create a more level playing field. And so that's what the Brondon Family Foundation is about. One of the things that's been really important in my development is learning to be a good writer. Most of the writing that I do is more like grant writing. So that's writing where I'm writing to a foundation or I'm writing to a federal agency like the National Institute of Health, and I'm asking them to support an idea, and I have to write in a certain way to achieve that. I applied what I learned in a classroom to my own life. When I was a kid, I had terrible speech anxiety. I would get so nervous, I could hardly talk. I felt like I was gonna have a panic attack. The way that you get over something like that is you expose yourself to it. If I could give myself little bits of what I hate to do and do it more and more and more, over time I would get over it. Now I give big presentations in places and I teach and I do all kinds of things without almost any anxieties. I think key to collaborating in a way that advances the goals of the foundation are things like effective communication, a willingness to respect and appreciate the contributions and perspective of others, and not be defensive about wanting to be right, but really being aligned around wanting to do the work and do good to the benefit of the goal. Because as the world becomes more and more interdisciplinary, working as a good teammate, I think, is critical. I think for people who have an interest in working in a nonprofit, you can decide what's of interest to you and then volunteer and go into situations where you can learn more about what nonprofits do. I think you could do something like me and have a career doing something else and then come into this work, or you could go straight out of college and begin to do work like this. I think either pathway is a good one. You need a group of people who can advise you and mentor you and support you and give you feedback on what's working and what's not. When you look at people who have a great deal of success, often they have sponsors. Those are people who not only mentor you, they are also creating and identifying opportunities for you. A lot of times, the relationships that you have with people are as important as the preparation you bring. I often say to students at Morehouse, don't give up. Don't try to solve every problem by yourself. Reach out for help when you need it. And so sometimes people think that if you're smart and capable and all the things that we all are and that you are, that you don't need help. That is not what that means. We all need help. It was great talking to you today. It was really fun for me, and I wish you all the very best. If you'd like to see more videos or learn more about some of the things that I've talked about, please go to lrng.org. LRNG is a wonderful resource for young people to connect their passions to success. Wishing you all peace, power, and love.